Well, welcome back. Okay, this story is wiling. So the CBS staffer who got fired for leaking the ABC News tape has outed herself. Ashley Bianco gave an interview with Megyn Kelly claiming it wasn't her. They fired the wrong person. And I want to know, is she lying? I want to watch this video and figure out, as a journalist in New York City that's worked at half these companies, if Ashley Bianco is lying or if they legitimately fired the wrong person. So let's watch the interview, go through it, dissect it.
Ashley, thank you for joining me. Did you leak the tape?
I did not.
Not to anyone?
No, never.
At any time?
No.
Okay, case closed. She didn't leak it. No, I don't know yet. She's playing stone face. I don't know if she's been crying right before this interview or if they prepped her on how to be stoic. She read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius here or what. But so far, this doesn't tell us anything.
At any time?
No.
Did you make a clip of the moment?
I did, but I saved it in the internal system.
Yeah, okay, so I made a video talking about this earlier, where I presumed that she was in the control room or around that news hour, and all these footage, these live hour footages, feed into a server. Every media company has it. So she obviously saw what had occurred, found it newsworthy or noteworthy, and kind of saved it, marked it in the server. There's all kinds of software to do this. Snappy Pro is one of them. There's entire jobs dedicated to doing this at every media company. Just if you guys are curious, probably fall under the role of social curator. I haven't even watched the full video yet, but I bet you her job is like video editor or social curator, which their job is to watch the program in real time and then figure out kind of viral moments, buzzy moments that they can clip. They can clip from the live stream and then immediately put out on a Facebook or Twitter. But in order to do that, the footage, the stream is running through a server. They're grabbing it or snapping it on Snappy Pro, and then they're saving it under their own desktop folders or into the server and then publishing it on Twitter. So what she did is obviously went into the stream, grabbed that little moment, and just saved it to the server.
So what was your job at ABC?
I was a crash producer.
Called a crash producer. Yeah. Basically making short breaking news in the terms of this is the 1 hour show for today. Hey, quick, grab this moment that the anchor just talked about and put it out on Twitter. It's a crash producer.
Okay, so a producer.
Yeah.
And you were in the control room when Amy made those comments?
I wasn't in the control room, but I was watching the comments while I was at my desk.
For clarity, the people in the control room dictate, okay, move the teleprompter here, move A camera here, move B camera there. But she, as a crash producer, is probably up on a different floor on her desk, getting the stream through her computer and snapping those moments. You don't need to be in the control room to do that. This makes perfect sense to me so far. I'm buying her story already. This is standard operating procedure at media companies.
So what made what did you do? You clipped the moment? You sort of marked the moment in the system?
Yeah, I just clipped it off. I essentially marked it in the system. It never left the system. We do it all the time.
Did you tell the manager that you had clipped it?
I did not.
Okay, that's a give or take. Saying I didn't tell my manager I clipped it could sound suspect in retrospect, but as a crash producer, her job was to kind of just use her journalistic instincts to figure out what moments are most likely to get retweeted or shared on Facebook and Twitter. So she's not going to tell her manager every single moment she's clipping from the show to publish on the social platforms. I don't know if that means anything.
Newsworthy, what she was saying?
Everyone in the office was freaked out by what she was saying, and everyone was watching it.
So the purpose for clipping it was what? To watch it back later?
Yeah, watch it back later. I did it just for office gossip,
Mm-hmm. Was there...
Yeah, that means she clipped it and wanted to share it with her coworkers on Slack and be like, can you believe what Amy just said? Check this out. Just internal Slack is, the internal, if you're not familiar with Slack, if you live anywhere outside of LA or New York, as in you're a normal, real American, and you're not familiar with Slack, it's just the internal messaging system that a lot of media and tech companies use. You can send video files, audio files to each other and in group chats. That's what Slack is. She had probably clipped it from Snappy and wanted to show her colleagues at work, hey, look at this. Isn't this crazy? Oh, yeah, wow, it is crazy. Emoji face.
Was there any intention to embarrass her?
No, not at all.
Or ABC?
No, I would never. The 3 years I've spent at ABC, I've loved my time there. I'm a good employee. I've worked 7 days a week. I loved my job.
Was this the first time you had ever clipped a segment of an anchor off mic?
No, I mean, we do it all the time. I'm part of my job is I'm like a video editor. I clip off moments all the time.
Video editor, called it, yep.
I put together, funny anchor reels of, them off camera doing funny stuff to use later in the show.
Did you go back and watch it later?
I didn't, no. I didn't think about it after that day.
So was that the last you had to do with that clip?
Yeah, I didn't touch it. I didn't do anything else with that.
You never went back to it?
I never went back to it.
You didn't download it, you didn't email it, you didn't transfer that file in any way?
No, not at all. I didn't touch it after that. It stayed in the system. I hadn't even heard of Project Veritas until this.
When was this moment with Amy?
It was in August 19th.
And then in the fall, you decided to leave ABC to go where?
To CBS. And I only left purely because...
Suspect time. Moment happens in August. Then she decides to go to CBS. Shortly after. Maybe she did leak it. I don't think so. I'm not convinced.
Because CBS had offered me a good contract. And so
Yeah, I'm sure CBS did offer you a good contract. I bet you, I don't know this Ashley Bianco girl at all, but I bet you she started off as a fellow or an intern, was paid hourly at $15 an hour, pretty standard wage at media companies. She was working 7 days a week. She was trying to get overtime, trying to get a full-time position. I bet you she eventually got it. I bet you they started her at a low salary. Her title was crash producer. She was grabbing clips. Not exactly the most glorious work, really monotonous and time-consuming, but she probably wanted to work her way up. She's probably making about $50,000 a year. She did 3 years at ABC News, maybe was looking to get another job, applied to CBS. By the time, she probably to CBS months before she got this job. There were sometimes long processes. CBS offered her much more money because now she has experience, and that's how you really make more money in media. You have to company hop. You're not going to get more money just through raises or negotiating with your employer. Media companies are notoriously avarice.
I left and I was just really excited to start a new job.
And so this week, you're sitting at CBS doing your job.
Yeah.
And what happens with Project Veritas?
They released the video, and I was shocked, but I didn't think anything of it.
How many days had you been at CBS?
Only 4 days, and that.
4 days? Is that including onboarding? Did you take some time off? I wish she had specified, like, oh, I left ABC News at this date, and then I took 2 weeks time vacation, a month vacation. Did she go straight to CBS News? That's a little suspicious. Only 4 days? She worked at CBS 4 days? That's like she started right when Project Veritas leaked the footage. That is a little fascinating to me. I can see why ABC News would find that fascinating. But she also said she didn't think anything of it. She was shocked, but didn't think anything of it, I think was her exact quote. She probably is saying this, I'm giving her the presumption of innocence here, that, well, I actually wasn't the only person there that witnessed it. There's probably 3 other people with my job that were watching the stream. There was 6, 7 people in the control room. There was 2 camera operators. There was a teleprompter operator. There was a lot of people that knew this moment occurred. She probably didn't think, why would they trace it to me? Why would they assume it was me? There was 15, 20 other people that for sure watched Amy say this. So I could see her being shocked, like, oh, I can't believe that moment actually came out, but also not thinking that it would come back to her. Once again, this is presumption of innocence.
How many days had you been at CBS?
Only 4 days, and I begged, I pleaded, I didn't know what I had done wrong, and I just, I wasn't even given the professional courtesy to defend myself. I didn't know what I'd been accused of. It was, humiliating, it was devastating.
Have you ever spoken to James O'Keefe of Project Veritas?
No, never. I didn't even know who he was until this week.
And hadn't communicated with anybody who works there?
Yeah, so they just... ABC News called up CBS News, said, hey, you just hired an employee. It looks like she was the one that happened to clip this moment. We know for sure she at least clipped it on Snappy. Would you mind showing her the door? And CBS News obliged. And I think CBS News here is going to make the argument, as ABC News will, although I find it hilarious that CBS News is willing to do this over what is essentially ABC News' intellectual property. Talk about a little bit of collusion. And 2, the fact that they don't care. Of course she didn't get a chance to defend herself. She was brought into a room. She was told, we have been notified that you accessed intellectual property or clipped this thing. We can't, of course, prove that you indeed actually leaked it. So we're going to fire you, not because we can show that you leaked it, but because we can show that you accessed the file. That's, I'm sure, what they said is why they're firing her. And she doesn't have a defense for that. She admits that she did access the file while she was at ABC News. But that's totally different than leaking it. So they're going to defend themselves by saying, we didn't fire her for leaking the footage. We fired her for accessing the footage, which is a pretty serious distinction in my mind. That's really splitting hairs to punish anybody they can get their hands on related to this PR incident on ABC News' part. That's once again saying if she did not leak it. But let's keep watching.
Have you ever spoken to James O'Keefe of Project Veritas?
No, never. I didn't even know who he was until this week.
And hadn't communicated with anybody who works there?
James O'Keefe, I think, has actually said on Twitter that it wasn't Ashley Bianco, that they got the wrong person. James O'Keefe says the person that leaked it is still at ABC News. So the fox may still be in the henhound. But let's keep watching.
There in any way, shape, or form?
No, yeah, I've never communicated with anyone over there.
What was your reaction when you found out ABC News had called CBS?
Devastated. I mean, it's like I'll never get a job anywhere else. It was devastating.
You'll get a job. You'll definitely get a job.
She'll definitely get a job after this interview. Now everybody knows her name and people are going to sympathize with her. She's crying on television. She's got Megyn Kelly acting like she's innocent. You can tell Megyn Kelly obviously does not feel like Ashley Bianco is the leaker here. She'll definitely get a job after this interview. This, in terms of managing your image, getting an interview with Megyn Kelly to plead your innocence, good move. I'll give Miss Bianco that one.
Do you think they should have aired her interview?
I don't know. I mean, she was really upset. Clearly she felt that she had a strong case, you know, but I have no clue.
So you didn't have outrage over them not airing it? This wasn't you trying to stake a claim?
I loved the company. I didn't have anything wrong with it, you know?
Okay, so this is Megyn Kelly basically asking if she had a motive. What was your motive, if you had any, for releasing the footage? And Ashley is saying, I didn't have a motive. I love the company. I don't even know if they should have aired it or not. Whether she's burying the actual motive, whether she's lying to Megyn Kelly here or not, I don't know, but the visual and the audio we're being presented with is Megyn Kelly asking, hey, did you have a motive? Ashley saying, no, I had no motive for leaking it, and we're supposed to walk away believing, well, yeah, the girl liked ABC News. Why would she even leak it? Yeah, she accessed it, but she had no motive. That's the purpose of this part.
I would never try to do anything to jeopardize that.
What do you want ABC and CBS executives to know?
It wasn't me. I'm not the whistleblower. I'm sorry to ABC, but the leaker's still inside. It's not, I never did any of that. I may have accessed it, but I never leaked it. I never showed it to anyone. I didn't talk about the situation outside the company.
And when you say the leaker's still inside, do you have any suspicions about who actually may have leaked it?
This is something that everyone saw.
Is that right? So it was a talked about moment?
Yeah, it was definitely that whole day. Everyone, was talking about it.
Oh, I for sure believe that. There's lots of people that go into any sort of news operation. People in the control room, people in the studio. Yeah, her alone being witness to this is totally preposterous to my mind.
Was running around, taking videos of it.
So do you regret clipping that moment now?
I do. Had I known, I would have never clipped it. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything. I didn't leak it. Anyone else could have clipped it off.
Even James O'Keefe has come out now saying you are not the leaker, that you were not the insider who gave this to him.
I wonder what ABC News thinks of this fact, that the employee that went to CBS is now giving an interview with Megyn Kelly saying, you got the wrong gal, and the Project Veritas, James O'Keefe, is saying, you also got the wrong person. I bet you ABC News is worried.
What do you think should happen to the insider, and what do you hope they'll do now?
I just want my career back. I want people to know I didn't do it, That's all I want. So.
Thank you.
Okay, and that's the video. So, what do I think? Did she do it? Well, in all honesty, I don't think she did it. No, not at all. This is a scapegoat that she happened to be coincidentally in the wrong place at the wrong time. She happened to take this job at CBS right around the time this clip got leaked. And in fact, I could easily imagine a situation that as she left for CBS, all of her files, her computer, everything she's turned in at ABC News gets bundled back together, gets wiped, goes through HR, goes through the tech wing. Every media company has kind of a tech office that takes care of computers, fixes hard drives. She's handing in all her stuff. She's saying goodbye to employees. And either one of her colleagues remembers like, oh yeah, she clipped that one file. I should go look at that and grab that again. Or somebody in the hardware tech office of the media company, when they were going through her computers and wiping them clean because she had left ABC News, stumbled upon the fact that she had clipped this or made a note of it on her computer, and then they went and found it themselves. There were a variety of options that I could easily imagine people getting access to this clip or being aware of this clip suddenly and then leaking it, and her having nothing to do with the fact other than her tangential departure. But the fact that really illustrates to me the abject amoralness of the media industrial complex is the fact that ABC News pursued this so relentlessly that they were willing to call up their competitor and get this individual, Ashley Bianco, this young girl that they probably underpaid for years, fired on the sole evidence that she happened to be somewhere in the radius while this moment occurred and clipped it, as was her job, to just clip things on the show and stored it on the server or on the computer. That's all they got on her. But they went through all the trouble to call up a competitor and get her axed. It's a cold world out there. If you found this interesting or insightful, leave a like. If you disagree with me, leave a like. Leave a comment. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Do you think she's innocent? Do you think she's guilty? I don't think she leaked it to Project Veritas. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.